Tonight on the Trust Radio Network, attorney Stephen A. Leahy, PC, founder and principal of Open Tax Resolution, will be giving you great conversation points. I'm just trying to do something different. We have Deborah Schreiner, our technical producer, best in the business, I say, and I will continue to say that, so don't stop me. I'm Jim Leahy, Leahy Real Estate with that Properties. Let's start thinking about tomorrow today, and this is the Trust Radio Network.
Well, thank you, Jim. Remember, this show is sponsored by the law office of Stephen A. Leahy, PC. They keep saying that, Stephen A. Leahy. And Open Tax Resolutions, where we help business professionals solve IRS problems. We help them solve audits and levies.
Yeah, you do with tax.
Liens and garnishments, collections, unfiled tax returns, and payroll tax issues. We also help people with mortgage foreclosures, loan modifications, bankruptcy, and other debt-related issues. So, you know what? I wanted to mention something because I'm looking into the future and to the guests of the future. We're going to have someone on here about student loans. We're going to have someone on about
that's going to be
about
huge.
Copyrights and other IP issues.
Listen,
and
for
so,
2020, we're going to have a lot of great guests.
So you keep coming back every Saturday at 8 o'clock here on AM 560 The Answer, and then you can meet these trusted professionals. And when these issues arise, I'm also trying to get an eminent domain attorney on. I'm begging him to come on. He says I don't really do radio very. Oh, you're coming on, John.
Oh, let me talk to him.
So, I'll keep texting him.
Okay, so without, yeah,
but that's good. That's
you.
good. So, but today we don't have any of those people. We have someone better. Right, as our guy today is MC
we have Mr.
Antil.
Christmas.
That's not his name. Mr. MC Antil, because Christmas is somebody's last name, and he is Santa Says Hello. Welcome to the show.
Hello, gentlemen. It's so great to be back.
Our yearly holiday tradition.
This is my new favorite holiday tradition, by the way.
And we're kicking it off, ladies and gentlemen. We hope you had a great Thanksgiving.
Yes.
On Thursday.
Now,
so
mention that MC was one of our guests at the Sweet event, our Sweet Night Out event last Saturday. And these are the type of people you can meet when you come to the Sweet Night Out event.
Which was fabulous, by the way, and I want to thank you for that.
Oh,
and
we had
I
a
will
great
say
time.
that the Bulls, I've not seen them really up close and personal in a while. They got some young talent there. They're ways away from being
Great
championship caliber, but there are pieces there, and they're athletic in a way they haven't been in quite
Well,
a long time.
I have to agree with you, and they do have some young talent.
Yeah.
Kobe White is going to be is going to be phenomenal for. I won't call him Kobe because he's not Kobe yet. You got to earn that.
I agree with that. You know, I was amazed at to learn that they lead most of the NBA in the first half points.
Yeah,
it's closing it out, and that's what good teams do, right?
Well,
good teams close.
Well, it's
that's just the way it is.
If they can get a defensive guy over the offseason, it's going to completely change your organization.
First half's physical, second half's mental.
Exactly. And,
that's a great point.
So, but we have MC Antil. We're gonna every year, as we mentioned, he's here because we want to talk about Santa Says Hello, or what's the other one?
SantaSaysHello.com.
.com.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's the domain name is Santa Says Hello, but I call the company Santa One-on-One.
Santa 101. And tell us why it's called Santa 101.
Well, it's one-on-one because really it is a true one-on-one boutique experience where we channel the calls or pattern the calls specifically to meet the needs of the child. So if the child has behavioral issues, if the child has, lost a pet, something traumatic, we deal with that. Santa deals with that. We've actually had there was two kids in Colorado who lost a little sister in childbirth, and Santa had a very frank discussion with them. He saw the little sister in heaven and talked to her, and she's doing great, and she wishes she could be there with, and it's this incredible opportunity to sort of bring this one person that all these kids respect and love, and he can explain things to them in a way that even their parents can't. So that's why I really make it a one-on-one experience. And I think we were talking off camera or off mic about how I had a few years hired Santas, and I was losing control of that thing that made the service special. And I basically scaled back, and I'm now doing it just one-on-one, myself and the child.
It's amazing. Because that story right there, just a little snippet, it does give you goosebumps, and the lives that you do touch, and these kids are.
One of the things I like most about UMC, and because you've been on the show here a number of times now, and I also follow you offline because you're a writer, and the way you can tell stories, you're a natural born storyteller, and of course when you have this opportunity to actually talk about these personal issues with people. Just amazing. And of course, that's what makes it all worthwhile.
I was at a film festival about 2 weeks ago, and there's a film that I saw that's just opening tonight. It's the Tom Hanks, Mr. Rogers thing. And it really is not a story about Mr. Rogers. It's a story about this writer who is just angry, unreconciled with his father. He tears people apart. And he does this little soft piece on Mr. Rogers and just watches this guy's kindness. And Mr. Rogers' kindness changes this man. And I realized that's what my site is all about. It's about spreading kindness,
Jim and I just look at each other like, oh my. See, that's what we talk about what a great storyteller you are. Because that's exactly
I didn't want you to stop talking there for a second.
Because that's exactly what it's all about, right? And
it is.
There's so many bad things that happen in the world, and we have to accept them. But that doesn't mean you can't be kind.
Exactly. You can disagree with people, but you can be kind with them. You can be stern with people, but you can be kind.
I don't want. I think we need more kindness in that.
I think we do need more kindness, and that's what I'm going to do in my own little. I'm going to, light my one candle against the darkness. I'm going to be kind,
and we can all do that.
Yes, we can.
So, and I think that's all. And that it's like, how are you going to change the world? Change your world.
Yeah. Go see A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. I really mean that. It's all about kindness.
So I did read a review on that, and very much what you just said. It wasn't about Mr. Rogers. It's about a guy who wrote about Mr. Rogers.
Exactly.
And of course, that's one reason why you like.
Ironically, that guy's from upstate New York, as am I. He is my age, and I met him at the festival.
Is that right?
And I just told him exactly what I told you, and I just said, "How much of that is true?" He goes, "Well, there's a lot of it was true." And he goes, the guy changed me. And I think in myself, well, that's what I want to do with Santa Claus. I just want to change one child's life, or maybe his parents.
You have that persona now. You are Santa, and that's what's the craziest thing, like so many people choose to be, they could choose anything. You chose Santa. Like that's an amazing character to pick up. But that's you now. You are Santa.
I think I'm becoming that. Certainly I'm working at it. It's a lifetime study, but I will say, and I think I've told this story before, that when I used to hire my Santa Clauses, they would always go ho ho ho, and I go, stop. Santa doesn't say ho ho ho. That's what some writer 150 years ago wrote down as what Santa sounded like. Here's the key. He's not trying to laugh. He's trying to stifle a laugh. He's so excited to speak to these children that he can't help, but every once in a while, this little giggle will come out because he's so excited to be speaking to that child.
Can you give us a giggle?
Well, I
put him on a spot.
No, I don't mean to put you on the spot.
No, but I'm saying you could speak in a way that there's this little laugh underneath everything that you say, and you're so excited to be speaking to that child.
Wow.
And that's what the ho 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 is. It's jolly, but it's a jolly that sort of oozes from the pores and spills out the mouth once in a while.
And we go back to this. It's the kindness and love that Santa has for everybody.
That's exactly what it is.
Listen, ladies and gentlemen, if you're out there, you have grandkids, if you have kids, if you're an aunt,
nieces and nephews,
if you're an uncle, you have to.
What better gift could there be?
That's right. Spread some joy this year. And
can we do something special for your listeners?
Sure.
I know we've only got a minute here, but let's do. I'll give you a code, and Opum 19 or Leahy 19, whatever you want.
Okay, let's do something easier because nobody knows how to spell Opum.
Leahy,
Trust 19.
Trust 19. Okay, Trust 19. If you go to my site and you put Trust 19, if you order we'll do it 2 days, December 1st and 2nd. Which are right after this airs. Mm-hmm. First and second, you get a free call.
Oh,
okay. Put that code in. I'll give you a free call.
Can we get your website?
Yeah, the website is www.santasayshello.com. Go through the order process. At the very end, it'll ask you a code. Put in Trust 19, and I'll give you a free call on December 1st or 2nd.
Wow. And
Okay.
it's something that, ladies and gentlemen, we're spreading some holiday cheer here on the Trust Radio Network, kicking off the Christmas season with the one, the only Mr. Christmas over here, MC Antil. So, ladies and gentlemen, remember Open Tax Resolutions are our sponsor, and come right back here on AM 560.
The Answer.
That would be, because I know it's all situational. right?
No, it is, but yeah, it's just there's this undercurrent of joy in everything that the guy says to the kids. You know what I mean? It's just the idea that I'm speaking to.
If anybody's listening out there right now, you have to give him a call. If you have kids, nieces, nephews, this is a wonderful opportunity. Go over to santasayshello.com. Am I correct on that?
Trust19.
Trust
Use
19.
that code.
Use the code Trust19 and you'll get 2 free phone calls. And it's
Two.
One.
One on
Oh, I'm
December
sorry.
1st or
Oh.
2nd. December 1st
I apologize.
or 2nd.
7 free phone calls.
Yeah.
One.
Yeah.
One,
They'll do
Jim.
it all for free. No, he'll give you 1 free phone call, but it's going to be so worth it for these kids.
And the reason I'm doing that is that the word of mouth is so strong with this thing that the more people sample it, the more they tell their friends, you have to try this. Or the more they'll buy for their
Other people.
Yeah,
yes.
especially grandparents. Grandparents, because they'll have multiple grandkids.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've always found that giving a little bit away early in the year has been a great way to spread the word.
Now, when I was growing up, we always had we still have a Santa suit, right? So we always had Santa
Right.
appear at the house for the kids, and it was always such a huge event. I mean,
Right.
and it's just amazing. What you watch the kids, and they just kind of look up at Santa with all this, awe. And I don't know if they want to be. I think they believe they want to believe.
Yeah.
They
Well,
wanna believe.
and it's interesting you say that because people say, do you have, do you use camera phones or whatever? And I don't, because as a writer, I create this theater in the mind. So I explain to the kids that I'm out in the barn and it's such a cool, clear night. The snow's crisp. I can look up and I see the stars. There's actually a hole in the roof of the barn. I'm looking up and there's this beautiful star up there. And these kids, you could hear the gears in their mind working as this scene is being painted for them.
Okay, let's talk about. Let's talk about. I always think you have a limited amount. What's amazing to me is that you don't have a limited amount.
You are not.
Is there something that you want to talk about?
Yeah, I'm going to talk about this one guy, Dave, who's my IT guy, who's sort of moving me into a new direction with merchandising and stuff like that. I don't want to get like overly commercial about it, but he's a guy who's bought into it.
Okay, so I think that's important. But in the end, we want people to go there and pay for your service.
Exactly.
I mean, that's what I want. And that's why I want to, and then we have to think about what would be good for you, so we could put it on in a clip,
right?
And so we could put that out there a lot.
Exactly.
Okay, so that's what I want to do.
So maybe I don't know if we could even record a short. You mean look for a clip within the show that he could use?
Yeah.
Okay.
We always do that anyway, Deborah, because we have the videos, so we go through Jim goes through them, and then we try to pick the right clips.
Got it. Okay.
I could tell a story. I mean, we've done that before.
Yeah.
I'm not sure of what. I don't want to repeat, but there's a.
You've had some great stories that I don't know if anybody will be tired about hearing them. I'll hear it again. So.
And now, back to the Trust Radio Network on AM 560. The Answer. Real conversations with some of the most trusted professionals in Chicagoland. Once again, here's attorney Stephen A. Leahy.
Welcome back. I am attorney Stephen A. Leahy. This is the Trust Radio Network here on AM 560. The Answer. We're here today. I'm here today with Deborah Schreiner, our technical producer. My nephew is here also. His name is Jim Leahy. He's also my realtor. And our special guest today is MC Antil, who's from Santa Says Hello. What's the name of I always that's
Santa One-on-One.
Santa One-on-One. SantaSaysHello.com is the domain name that you can go to and get Santa One-on-One, and that means that Santa will call whoever you want and talk to them. So again, MC, thanks so much for coming down. And you've been here for a couple of years now, and you always tell such great stories about how this touches kids. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, one of the things you'd mentioned earlier that I'm a writer, and as a writer, it allows me to speak to these kids in a way that is probably has a little more flourish than just, a mall Santa Claus. So as we're speaking on the phone, I try to paint verbal pictures in their minds. So when I discuss going out into the barn and talk about the cool, crisp night and the crunch of the snow, or Mrs. Claus coming to the back door and yelling out to me, and I will yell off phone. I'll hold the phone in my chest and, honey, I'm coming, that sort of thing. But I talk to them about being out in there and talking to Rudolph, and Rudolph's really excited, and they'll mention their name, and all of a sudden Rudolph's nose will get red, and I'll explain to them, people think Rudolph's nose is red all the time. It's really not. It only gets red when he gets excited. When I mentioned your name, do you know what his nose did? And of course, you always have to wait for them to say, what? And I go, it got bright red. And they're like, really?
I love this stuff.
There was one little kid in Indiana. I remember one day it was Christmas morning, and it was Christmas morning is great, but the anticipation is gone. The presents are open and everything. So I didn't know what to talk about. There's this one little kid from Indianapolis, and he had a dog named Gumball. So I'm sitting there, and I said, it was great last night. Thank you for the milk and cookies, blah, blah, blah. By the way, I was so tired by the time I got to Indiana that I fell asleep on your couch. And the next thing I know, there's this weight in my chest, and I feel something wet against my face. I said, Gumball woke me up. I said, do you realize if not for Gumball, that all these boys and girls all over the world wouldn't have their presents? And this kid yells out, Ma! Gumball saved Christmas!
Well, that's the kind of one-on-one thing, right? Because it's not some scripted.
No.
It's not some scripted take of. You're having a conversation.
I spent a little time as an actor, so that's a little bit of an improv. It's an improv sort of moment. You just you deal with what with what the form says. You look at there. You look for little kernels of choiceness, and you go with it. And that's what I did.
Make it all personal.
Yeah, it's very, very personal. Right.
How Gumball saved Christmas. I think that should be a new story.
I got to tell you something. I thought of that. I said, "There's a Christmas book in there someplace. Gumball saves Christmas." You know what I mean?
That's absolutely true.
Yeah, Gumball's eating all the Christmas cookies, and he's broke all the things on the tree or whatever. He's knocked the tree over, and they're about to throw him, and all of a sudden, out of the blue, here comes Gumball to save Christmas.
Just what you just said. Santa falls asleep on the couch.
Yeah, exactly.
That's good. That's awesome.
That's something Santa would do. Fall asleep.
He would fall asleep. He's been working hard. He's an older guy. He's pumped up for this night. He just
oh yeah, I got it.
Sat in front of the fire, had a little milk and cookies, and nodded off.
I want you to talk a little bit about because you have a lot of multiple people that you've called for many years.
Yeah, I think I've mentioned this before, maybe I haven't, but there are these two kids who were, I think I started calling them at about 6 or 7 years old, and they're now in their late 20s. And one, I think, is a captain in the Army, and the other one is a classical harpist. They live in Virginia, and they were homeschooled, and I called these kids every year, and I still call them because it's a part of their Christmas tradition. And over the years, the kid has gone, the boy has gone from asking for toy trucks to pickup trucks, and then eventually, Suburbans. But no, it's
even
it's
after that, the fantasy's still there for them.
Yeah, it really is, and it's a part of we joked about this being a part of my Christmas tradition, but it really is. This is sort of the unofficial start of my Christmas season, and I don't mean that in an insignificant way. And I think for these kids, that call from Santa Claus, which they had done every year, and finally they weren't believers, but their mother, it was part of their Christmas, and she did it. And this kid talked to me about he's getting engaged the boy told me he's getting engaged, and I said, "Who are you getting married to?" He says, "Emily." I go, "Emily? Really? Wow, you're way above your pay grade there."
Now, wouldn't it be great when he has children and you start calling his children?
Exactly.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's generational.
I am and still staying in touch after all those years.
Yeah.
That's what the power of this service is. And how many people have this kind of thing? How many services are really like this where it's just a holiday tradition?
Right. There was one young boy. He lives in Virginia as well, and his mother reached out to me because he was a severely mentally challenged kid who was autistic and had a few other things, and his mother said he won't speak to you. He was like 17 at the time, and she says, "But we'll help you speak to him." And I'm talking to him, and this little kid talked, I thought, fairly clearly. And his mother wrote me a letter years later. Or I'm sorry, I've been waiting for little moments of victory. And I watched that little boy fight to get through his disability and talk to Santa. And I want you to know that I'm so deeply thankful for you to do that. And it was interesting because the woman eventually got lung cancer and died this past year. Oh. And I talked to her husband about that. And it turns out I was a substitute teacher when I first got out of school, and they were going back to visit her parents, which were in my hometown. Turns out I was a substitute teacher where she went to high school.
Oh.
There's a real good chance she was in my class.
Man, it's how things come around.
It really is. If you don't think there's somebody up there sort of planning our steps and our moves, you just think of things like that.
It's the smallest world, man.
It is. It really is.
And
that's why people have to plan their own moves, right? In order to have Santa call your children, you got to plan it.
Exactly.
Right? So you got to go to santasayshello.com and set up a time. So MC could call or Santa could call.
Exactly, and we've talked about it for listeners of this show. If they put, was it Trust 19?
Trust 19.
Right? Trust 19, you will get a free call on either December 1st or December 2nd. I'll ask only that you tell your friends if you enjoy it. That's the only thing I would ask back.
And I guarantee you're going to enjoy it because you might not, but the kid's going to enjoy it. I'll tell you that. Right. It's because it's all about storytelling, and again, you're a great storyteller, and even when you're recalling these stories to us, it's so touching. It's like, what kid wouldn't love something like that?
It's funny. I used to hate speaking to non-believers or borderline believers because they thought they were too cool for school and they didn't.
Mm-hmm.
You could almost hear the eye roll in their voice. But now I love it because I've got this whole thing where I'll just say, "Don't worry about whether you're not believing me." I know that kids in school are saying there's no such thing as Santa, right? And I always wait for their response. They said yes, and I said, "Don't worry about it. Mrs. Claus and I go through this every year. Every year there's a new batch of boys who think there's no such thing as Santa Claus. I don't care whether you believe in me. Do you know why?" And they'll go, "Why?" And I go, "Because I believe in you. And no matter where you go, I will always believe in you." And I never say, "Please believe in me," or whatever. I say, "Go, make me proud. Whatever you do, go make me proud. And I'll love you. And I'll be with you every step of the way." And invariably, they'll get off the phone going, "Mom, maybe he is real."
Well, again, Santa, we all know that Santa loves us all, right? And patient and kind. And I know that you bring that.
Every time you come on, MC, I'm sitting there like, first time we had you on.
Wish you were 6 years old again so you could talk to Santa Claus.
First time we had you on, we were talking to you about one of your books, and right before you go, "Jimmy, it's great to meet you because I know your dad passed away, and just it's a continuation seeing you come here." And I just go, "Oh, I never thought of it like that. I'm just here for the paycheck."
Prop up your uncle.
How can I get in touch with you?
And santasayshello.com. There's a contact form there. Any questions you have, just reach out to me. I will give you a call if you want, and I'll explain you the service. And
the more detailed information they give you, the better call.
The better call it will be.
And the code for all you listeners out there will be Trust 19.
Trust 19.
Right, ladies.
Right. That goes in the little slot where you pay. Bonus code. The code.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're kicking off the Christmas season here thanks to Opum Tax Resolution, who's a sponsor of the show. 312-664-6649. Stay tuned and come right back so we can keep the Christmas cheer going here on AM 560.
The Answer.
Tight.
That was tight. That was
tight.
That was tight.
What are you going to do, Jim? This is generally the real estate segment. So
Yeah,
that's
go
what
do it. Do it. I'm set. I'm set.
Can we talk about, what would you like to talk about? You don't have anything?
I don't have. I mean, I was
Do
just.
people still sell their home in the wintertime, Jim?
Yeah, actually, sometimes it's the best because the buyers that are out there are more serious. You know, sometimes you have people come around. And
we had the chimney guy on. And he's related to Santa, tangentially.
Exactly.
They work together.
He's my favorite.
Keep it clean. He sweeps the.
Exactly.
I was.
he's sweeping the chimney.
I don't wanna
Adam
do that.
keeps things safe for Santa.
Cleaning bills are killing me.
Here's my.
Well, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. Please like and share
My
the video.
Halloween costumes.
Oh, that's
I
great.
was Bert from
yeah.
Mary Poppins. It's empty. How you like that?
See, I was going to be Santa, and then I went, I can't do that.
I have the Santa suit still because we don't have any young kids anymore.
Right.
But we have it's a nice Santa suit. It's not one.
I might
no,
have to
but-
do that for the kids.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Santa will
always
be
had-
jacked this year.
You're listening to the Trust Radio Network on AM 560. The Answer. Step inside the minds of some of Chicago's most successful business leaders. Here's your host, attorney Stephen A. Leahy.
I will sell this house today.
And so we shall in this winter month. Welcome back to the Trust Radio Network. And I just want to say, what a great show we've been having with MC Antil. Mr. Christmas is, that's what I'm going to call it. MC stands for Mr. Christmas.
That's right.
And we'll get into that in just a little bit. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you to Open Tax Resolution 2 for not only sponsoring the show, but having the Sweet Night Out event 2 Saturdays ago. And boy, did we have a good time. And MC, you were there.
It was
and,
great.
and we were thankful to have all of a few listeners come out too. So stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen, for in 2020 as we kick off the new decade. We're going to be having another event, and we'll tell you how you can potentially be up there with us. But the only way you can is by listening to the Trust Radio Network every Saturday at 8. Now, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I'm Jim Leahy, Leahy Real Estate with That Properties. Let's start thinking about tomorrow today. And right now, we're going to be talking about the winter months. We have Santa Claus on here, and make sure you clean the chimneys and leave out the cookies and, leave out the milk. Not spoiled. And what's your favorite kind of milk, Santa? What?
Oh, chocolate milk this year, yes.
Chocolate milk this year?
Chocolate, non-fat personally, but that's I can live with it. I can live with full fat milk.
Now, going to all the houses that you go to, I can imagine that just having it's got to be a little sip, that's a lot of milk to be.
It is a lot of milk to drink, although I'm not shy about my chocolate milk. I binge.
I left eggnog out one year, and that was, sorry about that.
It's
a little thick.
That's okay.
So talking, and since we're in the winter months, now might be a good time for you to list your home and think about selling, getting ahead of the spring market. Some people go, well, why? It's winter. It's the holidays. Nobody's going out to buy a home. That's not necessarily true. Because the people that are out right now, they are wanting to buy. They need to find a place soon.
For whatever reason.
For whatever reason it is. But if you put your house out on the market, the buyers that are out there are serious. Because a lot of times you see in the spring, some people are shopping around. They're not really going to be ready to pull the trigger right away. They'll kind of wait, because especially on the early spring months. But let me tell you something, in the winter, that's where some of the busy, and I'm getting busy right now, but that's some of the busiest times that I've had, especially around Thanksgiving and Christmas for some
Hey,
reason.
Jim, talk a little bit about what they call a CMA.
A comparative market analysis.
Yeah, talk a little bit about that.
Well, this is great. You guys have an opportunity to receive a free one, but let me tell you what a comparative market analysis is. It really is a detailed idea of the homes that are on the market, comparing it to yours and seeing what price point your home will fall in, where you stand in the market. Now, if you're looking to sell 10 years down the road, 20 years down the road, or next month, it's always good to know what the price, what your largest investment really is worth market-wise, so that you might be able to make adjustments. You might be able to look at maybe, hey, I'm not going to get the home that I want. I'm not going to get the price that I want for my home. So maybe refinancing is a better option and locking myself in here a little bit longer. So comparative market analysis gives you a detailed idea of what's going on in the market. So you guys can go and get a free comparative market analysis on your home. You just go over to facebook.com/Leahy Real Estate and you just request it from me, and I'll be happy to do it for you for free and see where you guys stand. Now, again, going into 2020, having that kind of information might be crucial to see if you're going to be staying or if you're going to be leaving. So you guys got to take advantage of that now, just kind of like what you're doing with the Santa Says Hello. You guys got to, the Trust 19. Again, you can get a free CMA, except I'm not going to call you.
Code.
My first 2 houses I bought in the winter, by the way.
Did you?
Yep, I did.
So some of the most serious buyers are out there.
Yep.
Actually, I'm coming up on that.
They always tell you that it's only springtime and that's the only time people buy. But people buy all year long.
But also, too, you can be a little bit more competitive with your pricing in the wintertime, because in the spring you have so much competition. Mm-hmm. And you really have to, you're fighting tooth and nail to get people in there. Well, if you list in the winter, hey, or if you list like right at the beginning of the year, now, again, most people are going to have credit card debt and they're going to try to get that taken care of. But the people that are out there and have really saved themselves and they're trying to get a head start, you're ahead of the competition. Mm-hmm. They're going to be looking at you first. So consider that might be a move for you. So if you're interested, or if you have neighbors or friends who are interested in 2020 and starting a decade off right, you just give me a call, Leahy Real Estate with that Properties, 847-271-3695, and we'll go ahead and get you a comparative market analysis for the upcoming year and see where you stand in the market, and maybe moving might be the right choice for you. Again, it's not for everybody.
It always helps to know what's going on in your own neighborhood anyway, because a comparative market analysis is going to show you what's been on the market, what's sold, how much did your neighbor get for it. Because you drive by your neighbor's house, you always see the sign say, what are they asking? Because you always hear, he'll never get that.
You know what I mean?
He'll never get it. But maybe he did get it, and you should know that, and that's what this is good information.
Again, what's great working with the realtors, because you can see, the home is up. Oh, wow, that's a lot of money. But I can go in there and kind of get an idea, hey, are we really getting looks? Are they really getting movement on that market, and get a kind of a detailed idea of what's going on? So the only way you can get that is if you give me a call, 847-271-3695. Again, Leahy Real Estate with that Properties. Let's start thinking about the next decade today.
Wow.
You like that?
Yeah, I do.
So anyway, ladies and gentlemen,
twist.
Thank you, Open Tax Resolution, for letting me talk. 312-664-6649. Get a copy of your free IRS book. Deal with your IRS problem today. And that's all. You got to go to freeirsbook.com. Oh, I'm running out of time. So come on back here on AM 560.
The Answer.
Good job.
Well, thanks. All right, frequently asked questions. What are some of the great requests Santa gets?
I always ask the kids, do you have any questions for Santa? And most of them really don't put on the spot. So what I always end up doing is saying, okay, who's your best friend? Or I'll ask them the questions. But
let's do this on.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, yeah.
Only I just hate to lose the.
Yeah.
Now, back to the Trust Radio Network on AM 560. Hear from Chicago's business leaders. Learn who they are, what they do, and why they do it. Once again, here's attorney Stephen A. Leahy.
Welcome back. I am attorney Stephen A. Leahy here on AM 560. The Answer.
Yes, sir.
This is the Trust Radio Network on AM 560. And I'm here with my nephew, my co-host Jim Leahy, our technical producers Deborah Schreiner, and our Christmas guest this week is MC Antil from Santa One-on-One. And also, so go to santasayshello.com and get a personalized call from Santa to whomever you choose. Your grandchild, your nieces and nephews, your own children.
Plus, there's
There you go.
that special code people can use, Trust19.
And you'll get one free call. Think about that. You get a call from Santa for anybody you choose for free. You should do that. Use the code Trust19. So what I like to do in this segment is I always like to ask our guests, what's the most what's the most frequent question that you get? But I also wanted to kind of give it a twist. Is like, do you get questions from the kids?
I do get questions from the kids. Sometimes they're spontaneous, and kids are obviously in different levels of their relationship with Santa Claus. The older kids are a little more willing to talk, but a lot of them know what's it like at the North Pole and what's Mrs. Claus like. And by the way, I've turned Mrs. Claus into a much bigger character than she probably is in a lot of these books, because she's the disciplinarian. When the child's not making his bed, I would say, well, I understand that you've not really been making your bed lately. At least this is what Mrs. Claus told me. But I said, I think, Mrs. Claus, this is an old note, because I'm pretty sure he's making his bed now, isn't he? And they're like, yes, I am.
Well, I want to ask you about that, because talk a little bit about, again, the questions that you get the information you get from those who leave it, and how important that is.
Yeah, it really is critical, because a lot of times one of the most important things that I ever did initially was to give me the presents that the child wants that he's not going to get, because it's a great little learning experience. I would say, I only have one of these left, and there's a poor little boy on the other side of town who wanted it. Do you mind terribly if I give it to him? And it gives the child an opportunity to sort of step up and be an adult and say, yeah, okay,
Wow.
he can have that, because he's, and it's really a wonderful opportunity. And I've also, over the years, evolved into getting the kids really, because they said, Mrs. Claus is such a big fan, sweetheart. Do you think you could draw me a picture of you and your doggy or your mommy or your daddy, whatever, and I'll put it on the refrigerator the next morning, so when Mrs. Claus gets up to make me breakfast, she'll see it and she'll be really excited. Could you do that? And they'll go, oh yeah, I'll do that. And of course the parents will invariably send me photos and whatever, the kid drawing the picture and leaving it by the milk and cookies and stuff like that. So it's really pretty cool.
That's a personal relationship with Santa Claus.
It really is. It really is. And I promise them the picture will be on the refrigerator all year long, so that Mrs. Claus, whenever she sees it, even in the summer, she'll see your picture and she'll think of you, because you've always been one of her favorites.
That's the only fun-in-law anyway.
That's amazing to me. Again, it's you need that information to connect with them, but they're looking for connection, aren't they? The kids are looking for the connection.
You know what's funny about connection is my nephew is a good kid, probably in his late 20s right now, but he's really so.
I have a nephew in his late 20s.
Hey!
His kid's a good kid, but he's a little lost. And yeah, there we go. The parallels are striking here. Stop.
I didn't tell him to say that, Jim.
But I talked to him last year, and I said, Christian, do you think that in time you'll be able to take over Santa for me? He goes, really? I go, yeah. I want you to be Santa Claus. And you could almost feel the kid's sort of sense of pride. And he goes, well, I think I could do that. I go, I'm sure you could do that. But it was funny, because I want to give this kid a little something to hold on to.
I don't want to say, it's a big responsibility, I think.
It is a huge responsibility.
Because it's not a willy-nilly thing, and it's going to affect these kids and their relationship or image of Santa for the rest of their life.
And what we're going to do this year is actually he's going to listen in on a few calls so that he can get a sense of what it's all about. Because I'm not going to be here forever, but I'd like to think that the service could live long after I'm around, or long after I'm gone. So I want to sort of prepare him to take it over and to be Santa Claus, and to give him something to hold on to every Christmas.
Well, as somebody who does holiday traditions myself, I do every Halloween. I jumped out and the kids come by trick-or-treaters and give them a little scare, but I've been doing that for a while, and that's expected every year.
Right,
and once
right,
you start doing something, you're like, I didn't think it was going to go this far.
Because it makes a big difference to the kids, and it's what they expect now, and it's what they and it's how they connect it to that to that holiday. And again, I think that kids will never forget that.
No.
Even when we had the Santa come by when we were a kid, when I was a kid too. But my own children, when we had the Santa Claus come by, and people say they'll never believe I'm Santa. They believe. They want to believe.
Yep.
And so you don't have to be the perfect Santa.
I believe.
But they believe. Yeah.
I believe.
It's Natalie Wood.
From
Miracle on 31st
Street. Maybe I didn't.
It's silly, but I believe.
Yeah.
Maybe I didn't do such a good thing after all.
That's right.
Love that movie.
Well, MC, how
And
can
that's
we
all
get
about
in touch?
Santa Claus and how important he can be to all of us.
Exactly.
What is the website I got to go
The
to?
website again is www.santasayshello.com. And for those 2 days, December 1st or 2nd, you can get a free call as a listener of this radio show by just putting in under the code line, what do we say?
Trust 19.
Trust 19. That's it.
right. And your website will be on our Facebook pages too. When we come back, we'll tell you about those Facebook pages. But stay tuned. Listen to our sponsors. Come right back here on AM 560. The Answer. This year I didn't do the chainsaw. It was too cold.
Oh, really? Yeah.
And the kids were, you could see them come walking through the air and they're like, okay.
Yeah. Here he comes.
I got a lot of people asking because I have a hot dog stand out. I don't know if it's
Yeah.
in there. So, but we did 180 hot dogs.
Really?
Even with all the snow. Still did
Wow.
180 stuff.
I was back east and it was pouring. It was monsoon. I felt so bad for those kids.
Yeah,
You
that's
can go
worse
through
than,
the snow
That's worse than this
when it's
snow.
rain. Yeah,
Rain was horrible. As a matter of fact, I had the candy there and I got no calls.
Nobody's.
There was no calls. I was at a friend's house. Had the bowl right by them. Nobody came by.
Yeah, that's terrible. I'm
and
so
I had
sorry.
that. A lot of people tell me in the neighborhood, but I still had the 180 kids come by for the hot dog. That's it goes kind of what you're doing, right? It's what their Halloween has become. It's what they want. It's what they expect.
In a world that these days seems so uncertain and so changing seemingly overnight, a little bit of stability, a little bit of continuity, it goes a long way.
Isn't that the truth?
I'm so impressed every year with the kids that come by for the hot dogs. They're not. I don't get a lot of.
You don't have to jump out at them.
Well, I know. Well, that's a little different thing.
Yeah.
But I don't get a lot of greed.
No,
You know,
they're
I don't get-
appreciative.
Yes, very polite, very nice. I don't limit to how many hot dogs they can have. So
Yeah.
I think it's the kid going up. Do you mind if I have a third one? No,
Yeah.
you have three. Actually, I'm
That was
honored.
Jim.
Jim.
No, I had
Jim,
17.
17.
Yeah,
Jim,
You had 17?
when he was a little boy.
Yeah, can I have another with the guy that chainsaw wants it?
How did you keep going,
Yeah.
Jim?
I didn't. I got sick.
He was he was a young kid at the time too. When that was one of
And then I
my.
realized I don't like eating a lot. I know it looks like it. Listen, I put on a little weight, okay?
That's when the hot dog stand was new, so Jim was still enamored with it.
That wasn't new.
Yeah, it was only
Newer.
a couple years.
Oh, was it because when I was a little boy, you were doing it downtown, and then all of a sudden you moved. It was behind Noni's house, behind the dumpster, forever.
Was this at our house? I thought you did it down.
It was at your house.
I thought we
I
did
didn't
it
do
downtown.
I didn't do the hot dogs downtown. Are you kidding me? I would have never made it back. Even then, I had some sense. There's no bathroom here.
I gotta have that.
Well, that's true.
17 hot dogs. I'm not going to get graphic with it, but use your
Yeah.
imagination.
I'm not sure you need a vomitorium for that rather than a bathroom.
And now, back to the Trust Radio Network on AM 560. The Answer. Real conversations with some of the most trusted professionals in Chicagoland. Once again, here's attorney Stephen A. Leahy.
Welcome back. This is the Trust Radio Network here on AM 560. The Answer.
The Answer.
Here with Jim Leahy, Deborah Schreiner, and MC Antil.
Kicking off the holiday season
the holiday-
in style. And that's right, ladies and gentlemen. Go to santasayshello.com. you'll be able to have Santa give you a call, a personalized call, not just you, though, for your loved ones, your grandkids, your children, your nieces, your nephews, the young boy down the street who lost a puppy, or a family member that had a tragedy, and you're able to give just a little bit of joy to these kids.
Because it's not a scripted thing. It's not, hey, I'm going to say the same thing to every kid. It's a personalized. And on your site, right, you're asking for, give me the more personal, the better, don't you
Well, and
think?
people say, how long will they take? And I said, well, we'll know when it's over. Because if the kid wants to keep talking,
You don't have a timer on it. They,
There's no timer.
Tough luck, kid. It's over.
No. It's what do you want to talk about? You know what I mean? And
That's amazing.
I've had calls that lasted 30 minutes.
Is that right?
Yeah, there was one little kid. I think I maybe mentioned it. His father had died that year, and he didn't really know his father. Oh no, he died earlier. Didn't know his father. The kid didn't want to go to sleep. He wanted to sit up and talk to Santa. So he sat by the tree, and his mother said he can't do that. So I basically told him all about his father, about what a remarkable man he was, and it took me half an hour to get off the phone with that kid. Wanted to keep hearing stories about his father. I said, I'll tell you the stories, but you got to promise to go to bed tonight. He goes, okay, I promise.
That's it. See, you don't get that. That's not a 3-minute phone call from Santa that says, "Hey, yeah, kid, I'm up here in the North Pole. Okay, good enough. Now next."
Exactly.
Your website will be on all of our business pages.
Thanks, Jimmy.
Again, that'll be facebook.com/Leahy Real Estate for me, or for this show, facebook.com/Trust Radio Network, and you'll be able to really get in touch with Santa Claus. I mean, listen, ladies and gentlemen, spreading joy this year doesn't have to be just going out and buying all these presents, right? Doesn't have to be joining in the hustle and bustle and Black Friday events, and where we really lose a sense of what this holiday really means. MC, you bring that kindness and
Thanks, Jimmy.
And
a little bit of kindness, right?
Understanding really back to the holiday.
So
God bless you.
I think that's a very good point, Jim. I think you made that. It's that you could buy things for kids, but you can't buy. This is an experience. They won't play with it the next day, but they'll remember it for a lifetime.
Exactly.
It's amazing.
And I think it's the perfect gift, frankly, for grandparents, because they want to give their child or the grandchildren something special
and something different.
Yes,
that's right.
And this is something that'll really you've seen it for as long as you've been doing it. This is affecting kids' lives.
I've told the kids whose grandparents order the call that I remember their grandparents when they were that age, and they were little hellions. They didn't make the nights list every year, but they've done really well since.
That's funny.
MC, thank you so much.
You give the kids permission to sometimes fail.
Exactly. Exactly.
MC, thank you so much
Thanks,
for coming
Jimmy.
on the show.
I appreciate coming here every year.
Our holiday tradition. We're kicking up. We hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving. Merry Christmas to every one of you guys out there. Happy holidays.
I just want to mention that we're going to have MC on later, maybe a month or two. We're going to talk about baseball because
for our spring training,
and we'll refresh your recollection on the great stories that he has about that.
SantaSaysHello.com. Type in Trust19 to get a free call December 1st or 2nd. So
do it now.
That's right. And from the Trust Radio Network, we'll see you next week here on AM 560.
The answer.